Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Lunch Hour, brought to you by Constant Collab, where we eat, sleep, and breathe finance, news, and everything in between. So if you like finance, news, and crypto, make sure to subscribe. We have a great show lined up for you guys today, so let's dive in. So, like always, we are going directly to the crypto market overall, coin market cap. Right now, the crypto market is about 2.5 trillion. It's almost pushing 2.6. It's right around the corner. The volume, right, the 24-hour volume is 174 billion. That's pretty high, so that's really good for crypto right now for the trading volume. Bitcoin is still around 45% dominant, and then Ethereum dropped a little bit, about 0.8%. Right now, it's at 19 flat. Shiba Inu in the last 24 hours, it remains at, it's up 8%, almost 9%. And then this one right here, Squid Game, it's up 2,500% in the last 24 hours. That's a little insane. The overall market, however, is up almost 5%. So that's great compared to how it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was pretty much flat. It didn't change that much. But Bitcoin currently is at 61,511, up again 4.23%. Ethereum is at 4,186, up almost 5%. Binance Coin is up 7%. And let's see, Dogecoin. Dogecoin is up 26% for the day and 26% for the week. Shiba Inu has entered the top 10. I think it was top 7 this morning. So it was literally above a Polkadot and Xrp. So that's a little insane. It was right on the tails of Solana actually. So overall, that's pretty good for the market. Again, the top 20 are green. A lot of them, it's marginal, a couple of percentage points, but yeah, they're pretty much green. Right now, we're going to jump into some charts. This is the Shiba Inu chart. Brian, what do you think about this chart?
Yeah, thanks, Braulio. So, yeah, in general, this chart it's a little bit definitely overbought, right? The RSI at the bottom is on the daily, so it's creating sort of a double top formation above 90 RSI, and the weekly is very high as well. This coin can keep going. We saw instruments like DWAC, the Trump media company, and certainly have seen things like GameStop and others, keep going. But Constant Collab took some profit yesterday in the I don't know, 1 millionth of a penny or whatever. Tenths were in, and you can see at this screenshot that we took this morning, we were back in the seventh, tenths, and moving back down. So we're certainly trying to get some extra Shibas down lower, instead of trying to ride a bigger pop here. So we scaled in and shaved a little bit of profit yesterday.
Absolutely. And to your point, I mean, Shiba is really not following technicals at this point. A lot of, the volume is coming from TikTokers and stuff like that. So to your point, it could go higher. I mean, it could go to, it could kill another zero. Who knows? But just like you said, we took some profits yesterday, and hopefully we can pick up some more at a lower price. And then right here we have the XRP chart. What you got on this chart?
Yeah, so yesterday we posted and just mentioned that a lot of the assets were anchoring towards those December 2020, January 2021 lows. And, the headline of our show today was talking about how BCT is rebounding. The overall market is certainly rebounding. And right, as you look across certain pairs, you can find these levels of support and sort of determine how the overall broader market is going to respond sometimes. So it's good to see the overall positive response overnight heading into the 28th, as most of the assets are up today.
And I mean, at the very least, XRP's following that support line, that trend line. So hopefully it doesn't break below it, and it maintains it as support until, it breaks out. So, and hopefully it breaks out to the top, So a lot of people keep talking about, the XRP hasn't broken its all-time high in the last 4 years and stuff like that. And if you ask me personally, I think that's a narrow way to think about it, like in 2017, XRP was literally the last one to move, and when it did, we were talking about a 10x move in a matter of a couple weeks. So we keep accumulating XRP, and if we can get it at $1 or 90 cents, that would be great. I'm not mad at that, and at the very least, my plan is to take profits from other projects and then rotate them into XRP in the hopes that just like it did in 2017, it will be one of the last ones to move. So,
Absolutely.
and I think the XRP, it a lot of people make the argument that it's gonna miss the bull run because of the SEC lawsuit and stuff like that. I don't think so. We're still in a speculative market, and it's going to move just like any other crypto is. I mean, no, very few crypto to this day follow fundamentals, and they're it's still attached to Bitcoin's halving cycle. I don't know if next bull cycle will be the same. I don't even think that BTC might follow the halving cycle next bull run. A lot of people make the argument that it's gonna be a continuous prolonged bull market. I don't think so, but as more institutions and more big players hold it, I mean, at this point, we have countries accumulating Bitcoins. So I don't think that they're going to be trading it just like, retail investors. So we just have to see. And again, I'm almost certain that XRP will be one of the last ones to move, just like it did previously. And I'm going to rotate my profits into it. You have anything else to add, Brian?
No, well said. I think that's a great place to park your profits with the central bankers.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So the very first article that we're going to cover, it's Shiba Inu. Everybody's talking about Shiba Inu like always. Honestly, I'm getting to the point of exhaustion. Literally, I spend a lot of time, streaming other YouTubers and stuff like that, and I think they're getting to the very same point of exhaustion that I'm at currently. But this article, Shiba Inu is it's not only bigger than Dogecoin, it's now bigger than XRP, Polkadot, and USDC as the seventh biggest crypto. I got this earlier in the morning, so obviously it pulled back a little bit to the 10th spot. I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's a huge accomplishment for Shiba Inu to come, from the 1,000th spot by CoinMarketCap to the top 10 in a year and a half or so. That's pretty amazing. So there's really not much that I can say.
It seems like a sell signal to me. I'm here for the memes. We talked about how much America loves their memes yesterday, but how can you justify this token having utility? When these tokens hit utility, the bears come out and everybody's like, well, does crypto even have any utility, right?
Exactly.
So we got to move. It will get over it. Folks will naturally move on for it. In the meantime, retail investors in both America and globally will continue to be just totally entrapped and amazed by it, with CNBC and the rest of the media that gives it attention. We've also talked about this yesterday. Kishu is ranked 2,713. So there's still a lot more room there as it relates to rank and market capitalization across the shitcoin environment.
Right, and that's one thing that people have to keep in mind. And you brought it up yesterday on our show. You said that it's more likely that you'll get a 1,000x off of Kishu than you will off of Shiba. Today, exactly. So, a lot of people on crypto Twitter and again YouTube, they're looking for the next Shiba, the next Doge. Shiba is not going to be the next Shiba. I don't see Shiba going 1,000x at this point to a cent, unless like you said yesterday, unless there is a 50% burn of the supply. That's very not probable at this point. So you have to start looking to other projects that you want to think ahead, think about the future and what's the next project that's going to do the next 10x, 100x, 1,000x. And I don't think Shiba will be the one to do that right now. Don't FOMO into it. That's one word of advice that I can give people. It's very hard to sit on the sidelines if you're not in and be like, oh, it's gonna keep going, it's gonna keep going, it's gonna keep going. So you buy a big green candle, and you get pretty much wrecked, So don't FOMO in at this point. Wait for a pullback, and then if you wanna go into SHIB, do so. But I personally recommend looking into other projects. Kishu is one that I would highly recommend at this stage in the game. So that's all we got for that one. Unless you got something else, Brian. No.
Yeah, just we'll further go on that sentence by saying if you're looking for shit coins, I think if you're looking for real projects, just go buy VeChain or something like that and have a good sleep.
Exactly, and that's another word of advice. It's great to gamble and play around in the market, but start off by creating a portfolio of good crypto projects. I mean, there are plenty of them. Throw a dart at the top 20. You're more than likely land on one, except for Shiba and Doge. But there are good projects out there to actually put money in. So let me see what. So this one.
Check out my man.
This is a classic right here.
Yeah.
So crypto wallet Coinbase goes offline, leaving customers unable to trade. Brian, you caught this yesterday. What do you got, man?
Yeah, so there's some text in the article if you wanted to read that, but in general, we had some folks inside of our Constant Collab Telegram who were holding SHIB on Coinbase, and during those sort of peak rallies, both yesterday afternoon and I guess overnight, Coinbase was starting to go offline, both on the app. I'm sorry, and so when that happens, we usually advise you to get on your web browser and see if the browser works, and the browser was also down as well. So Coinbase's scheduled maintenances, as they describe as what's happening during these times, are very convenient, but in reality, I still don't think they've been able to manage the traffic as the U.S. domestic. It's not only the most popular, it's the easiest one to use. A lot of folks are uncomfortable utilizing Tether or any other stable coins on exchanges. They'd rather have it directly pulled from their banks and pay higher fees for convenience. And so with that comes, the inconvenience of not being able to sell when it's time to take profits. And so that's sort of what happened yesterday.
Right. And that's one thing that, people need to keep in mind. I recommend keeping half of your assets on Coinbase. That's perfectly fine. But also keep another half on another exchange. Robinhood, unfortunately, and Coinbase, they're infamous for having, scheduled maintenance during peak hours and stuff like that. And recently, I think yesterday, Coinbase once again became the #1 app on the App Store, meaning that a lot of more people, are signing up, they're downloading the app, so their traffic is going to get even worse. So just keep that in mind. You might not be able to sell all of it at once, but just keep a nice, amount on another exchange just in case something like this happens, just so you can take profits at least on that half that you have somewhere else. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket, because if you're trying to sell, best believe that other people are trying to sell too. So we wouldn't want you to miss the boat on taking profits just because Coinbase is down. Keep that in mind. But Brian, we have a question from Chris Diener on the chat. What are your thoughts on utility coins, privacy coins, etc., and what's your favorite project?
Well, that's a good question. I think we like a lot of our utility coins. From a utility standpoint, we talk about XRP all the time as a global bridge currency, and we talk about XLM as the sister or the silver or the peer-to-peer version of XRP. From a privacy coin standpoint, we've talked about EOS a lot. I think EOS has some potential from the privacy coin and the privacy coin space. We've talked about Zcash. I think Zcash has great potential there as well. And then we also talk about some open source projects like VeChain and Cardano, which basically just allow global corporations and institutions to utilize their blockchain to participate in business processes or any other compliance frameworks or things that they're trying to perform and validate on those projects. So those are probably That's kind of a general question.
Right.
My favorite project is the utility coins because I feel like you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about their participation. Their utility is in its word. It's natural. My favorite thing to say is XRP doesn't give a damn. Like as NFTs and as all of these other areas of the blockchain universe continue to develop, so will XRP because all it wants to do is trade value in between any two parties in that transaction. So,
right. And I mean, personally, mine is Cardano. I love Cardano. I love the fact that you have so many developers developing on the platform. A lot of people give me crap about it, especially before Shelly was launched. It took them 2 years to launch Shelly. But after that, it's literally been a domino effect, and they're just updating their blockchain literally almost every 6 months. VeChain is a great project to look into, and XRP. I've held XRP since 2016. I love it. I stand by it. I think Ripple is a great company, and they support it. They try to get other institutions to utilize it. So there's great people developing on Cardano, VeChain, and XRP. So those are projects that you literally can buy now and forget about them. You come back 5 years and look at your wallet, you'll be happy. That's one thing that I can say. So that's a great question, though. That's a great question.
Which is not financial advice.
Not financial advice at all. And then El Salvador buys another 420 Bitcoin as market dips. For 420. You got the 420 though. It's kind of funny that El Salvador is buying exactly 420.
Yes, sir.
So that's one thing to keep in mind. When you have countries buying the dip, you should not be selling. You should not be selling. Hold it. Now, if you see big institutions and countries start to sell it, then you might follow the smart money and take some profit. But don't be afraid, when especially Bitcoin, when it dips 5%. In 2017, I believe there were 10 or 6, 10% corrections in the bull market itself. So don't be afraid. Corrections are normal. They're healthy for the market, and just buy the dip if you got cash on the sideline. So that will just benefit you. Do you have anything to add, Brian?
Nope, I agree to all of that. I think paying attention to if those whales, so to speak, in this case, literally countries are getting rid of their assets, I think that would be, a signal that we could see bigger crashes. But that's the debate we talked about earlier in this segment on whether or not we'll see, 90% dips again in Bitcoin is to be told. But in general, I don't see El Salvador, Michael Saylor, or some of the more outspoken whales giving up on their Bitcoin as we move forward. It's a deflationary asset as in general, and giving them up suggests that there could be no supply when it's time to get them back, or a higher price even. And so I bet you El Salvador and Michael Saylor's average price is only like $9,000, so he's never going to sell any. But a country like El Salvador, who may have an average discounted cost average at like 40,000 Bitcoin, they may see some red eventually, but I doubt that they would ever sell it.
Right.
I mean, it happening.
Even to that point, Tesla, they have, I think their average price is a little higher than Michael Saylor. I think they're closer to 25,000, 28,000 average price. So I don't see Tesla selling below 28,000. I don't see them selling it, period. As they're keeping it in their reserve. And Tesla just hit $1 trillion market cap. They're literally holding their Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and other assets and market crashes and stuff like that. So I think they're sitting pretty, and I don't see them selling anytime soon. At least not in the next year or 2 or 3 for that matter. So just keep in mind, Bitcoin might not go down to 10,000 ever again. I don't see it, but some people still out there, calling for $1,000 Bitcoin. I wish, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, me either.
And then on other news, Actor Matt Damon plugs Crypto.com in global TV spot. So the the fortune favors the brave ad. So just so I don't read that whole article, Matt Damon signed up a partnership with Crypto.com. You know, that's for an ad campaign, a global ad campaign for crypto, and you know, trying to educate people on cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. This is great overall. You know, just trying to get the word out there, educate people on you know how blockchain and crypto operate, ways to use it, how to you know hedge against inflation and whatnot. So this is great, and to have an actor, you know, like Matt Damon, an A-list actor like that, it's awesome for Crypto.com. Congratulations to them. And by the way, Crypto.com is a great exchange. I've used it. I know Brian uses it. I think he owns their token also. So, what do you have to say about Crypto.com, Brian?
I actually sold Crypto.com recently, and I've just salivated over not buying it again because
Oh,
I love the chart. I love the project. I watch NFL Sunday, UFC fights. Now I watch Matt Damon get on the internet, and it's just everywhere. And so,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know, some things don't need an explanation, right? They're throwing money left and right. They're getting their name out there. They're obviously cementing their place
Right.
in the marketplace. And when you know Binance Coin obviously has a little bit more utility than some of these other exchange tokens, but went to over $600-$700 a coin, you could just scoop up some crypto.com today for 20 cents and know that it's going to be at least $5 or $10 one day down the road. I mean,
Right.
easily. And so, these are conversations also that tie into our sadness when we get asked about the Shibas and the shit coins, because it's like, hey, you're picking meme stocks and shit coins off of the New York Stock Exchange and these crypto marketplaces when you could just park your money in crypto.com and then go spend time with your wife or your kids or your loved ones and go out and have a great time, because it's going to happen. It's in front of our faces.
Exactly. And that's one thing. You don't have to be a trader to make money in this market. You literally, you can DCA on any project on the way down and you'll make money on it.
For sure.
And then when, exchange, I like exchange tokens. I use Bitrue.com all the time. I own their token. I believe that the market cap for BTR, the Bitrue token, is 45 million. Me personally, I see the exchange itself worth 10 times that. So why can't that token itself be worth that? So, those are things that you have to think about when you're looking at projects, especially exchange tokens and projects of that such. They have a utility. They're backed by something that's tangible,
Yep.
and that's something that you need to think about instead of putting money in gambling in Doge and Shiba. You should be looking at projects that have something tangible to back it. So, and like I said, crypto.com is a great exchange. If anybody's looking to sign up for it, I think they're great. And I think in the US they might be FDIC backed. So that is something that people should look into. And then your boy Mark Cuban signs with a partnership with Voyager. Voyager, that's another exchange. I think they only have an app though. They're kind of like what's that one? Coinbase. And I don't even think they even have a Voyager Pro or anything like that. They only have an app, fairly easy to use. They have a token that pretty much did 100x in like a couple months. I wouldn't buy it right now. I think it's trading at around $5 if I'm not mistaken, the Voyager token. And again, it's another one that they use their tokens to pay for fees, and I think you can stake it on their app and get interest back. So that is something to think about. And then partnership. I mean, Mark Cuban, he's a forward thinking guy. So he's always been into crypto. He holds crypto. So to have a partnership between the Mavericks and Voyager, I think that is awesome for getting people to adopt crypto and the technology. And I wouldn't be surprised, Brian, if next basketball season the Mavericks don't start accepting, the Voyager token in their stadium. I would not be surprised at all.
That's
So,
a fair bet. That's a fair bet. It's certainly a race between US based crypto exchanges and their ability to market celebrities, athletes, and different data of that nature. I think FTX is probably doing the best as of recent,
with Tom
but
Brady, they signed Tom Brady,
yeah,
didn't they?
yeah, I think Tom Brady is like one of the best guys you can have on some of your stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. I think um, we're just at the beginning. We talked about this yesterday. We're at it's 1997, and you're at the grocery store with your mom, and you're stealing American Online 1,000-hour CDs.
Right.
That's the stage of the space we're in.
I agree 100% with that. A lot of people. That's one question that people ask me about. If they're late, if they can still buy into crypto. And right away, I tell them you might be a little late to this bull cycle. However, there's still projects that you can get into. Again, XRP hasn't even hit its previous all time high. That's one project that you can get into. But overall, when it comes to crypto and the potential, metaverse, NFTs, it's nascent. It hasn't. It's not even Q1 yet. So
Absolutely.
it's early. It's super early. And Singapore Monetary Authority chairman sees useful role for crypto and stablecoins. So that's one thing I will tell you. That's one thing that I like about Asian countries. They love their technology, and they're huge proponents of crypto, except for China. China wants to control everything, so that's one of the reasons why they are launching their own CBDC. But over the last year, Singapore stepped up its crypto loan game. Uh, Moreover, recent comments from the country's central bank leader are even bigger indicators of digital currency's future significance. So yeah, they like I said, they're forward thinking. They're trying to. I think Singapore is. I think they're actually working with Ripple, Brian, to launch their own CBDC on the XRPL.
Well, the corridors are open there. And
Yes,
so the
yes.
banks that they're doing business with in Singapore now have the ability to trade, to utilize XRPL to, I forget we need to clarify the other countries involved with that corridor right now. But in
Mm-hmm.
general, without this corridor, they're all participating in treasury hedges every time they do a currency exchanges because it takes 1 to 3 days for them to transact their fiat, and there's currency risk associated with that. And
Right.
so Singapore's saying, of course, we support CBDCs in our country because the faster we can trade CBDCs and with on the XRP ledger with um, international currencies that we're doing business with, we don't have to wait 1 to 3 days. We don't have to hedge on the open market. We don't have to buy and sell fiat currencies to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we don't get screwed, because
Mm-hmm.
if you have $1 million transaction and the currency loses 1% overnight, you lost $10,000 just waiting for your money to get there.
Right.
And that's not acceptable anymore. And so that's Singapore is certainly taking the lead, and the United States is certainly in last place with that.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I sit down and I think about a lot. Or I should not only the United States, but a lot of developed countries, they take their time making decisions because they don't want to they don't want the status quo to change. But that's why they end up collapsing, because they fall behind to developing nations who are using the latest technology, and they're studying and developing on the latest technology. But the US is like, oh no, if we change the status quo, we're gonna lose our position as the world superpower. No, you are losing your position as the world superpower because you are falling behind on technology.
Because you're maintaining your status quo.
Because you're maintaining your status quo.
This is the way we've always done thing mentality, and it's centered in Washington D.C., and its culture is just disgustingly spread across our domestic environment right now. So
Oh,
kudos to Singapore and the rest of the global banks, institutions, and governing bodies who are understanding where this space is heading and pioneering those efforts.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then the last article for the day is probably my favorite one. I'm not gonna lie to you. So the CFTC wants to be the primary crypto regulator. So they are pretty much fighting the SEC at this point.
I like
So
this guy.
yeah, I do too. I do too. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let me read a little bit of this article. So the Community Futures Trading Commission is ready to be the primary cop on the bid for digital assets. CFTC acting chair Rustin Benham said at the confirmation hearing on Wednesday. On Tuesday, the total size of digital asset market was 2.7 trillion. Among the 2.7 trillion, nearly 60% were commodities. So with that in mind, I think it's important for the committee to reconsider and consider expanding authority of the CFTC. So that is huge. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny though because they are contradicting what the SEC is saying, that 90% of crypto projects are securities. So I mean, it would be huge for crypto period if the CFTC takes over. That way we don't have to worry about the security claim or anything like that affecting any of the crypto projects. And in my opinion, I think that what's her name, Hester Pierce, one of the commissioners for the SEC, she's also forward thinking, and I think she has the right mindset. You have she's working on a sunset clause to allow for crypto projects to be considered a security at first and sell and raise funds, to advance their project, and then later on apply to change that status. So I think that's the right way to do it, because at the end of the day, just like any other company, crypto projects, they need funding to get started. They have to hire developers and people to work on developing whatever blockchain it is that they're working for, they're working on. So people need to invest early. And then once the blockchain gets decentralized enough, Brian, it should change from a security to a commodity, and those restrictions that are put on securities should just go away. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's my mentality. But if it's just gonna go directly, that the SEC is just going to uh, regulate the entire industry, that for me, that would be even better in my opinion. But I I don't know why the SEC just wants to call everything a security. Not everything in crypto is a security. A lot of them, again, start like that, and then once they get decentralized enough, it completely changes. What do you have to say, Brian?
If anything, the shit coins that they allow to get pumped the most across our country are the ones that have the most security based or equity based backings, and the ones that they don't want to talk about are the actual currencies. So they're hiding behind a see-through shower curtain at this point, and it's a matter of time.
And I mean, to that point, those same meme coins, they're so centralized. Literally, the top 10 sheep wallets own 80% of the supply. So literally, they can go to 10 different people and be like, "Oh no, this is totally a security. You guys own 80% of the supply. This is super centralized. So what's going on here?" And yet they sue a company that is working with a bunch of different companies across the world. The XRPL, people are developing on it. There's other crypto projects being developed on the XRPL. I just it doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. So I hope the Congress does make the CFTC the regulating authority over crypto, and we shall see what happens. And this guy that just got confirmed, seems to be he seems to have a pulse on what's going on. So it's just a matter of time to see what happens.
Yep, absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for you guys today. Again, I hope that you guys are enjoying the content that we're putting out. Make sure to leave comments on anything that you want us to research. Any comments on the topics that we covered today. You agree, you disagree. Dislike the video. Share it. We're just trying to get, the news out there, updated news to people so they can make smarter decisions. And with that being said, we are out.
See ya.